Welcome to the 13th show in a series of shows focused on Brookline as an age-friendly community. In 2012, the World Health Organization of the United Nations designated Brookline as its first age-friendly community in New England. This was a result of a whole set of features that they recognized in Brookline and that were a result of the Board of Selectmen's responsiveness, the town department's cooperation, the Brookline residents themselves working with volunteer organizations, especially working with a volunteer organization that we'll be addressing today, the Brookline Community Aging Network. Last year, there was the annual meeting, every year actually, but last year's annual meeting was particularly exciting, and this year is even more exciting. Let's take a look at last year's for now. We'll put up some video.
This is a volunteer operation, and we are dependent on our members. Hopefully, you have met some of your neighbors here today and possibly want to engage in more volunteer activity to continue to make Brookline the best community that it can possibly be for all ages.
You know that Frank Caro, who sort of kicked off BCAN, also decided that Brookline should become an age-friendly city, and we have done that under a World Health Organization designation, and we've had a bunch of activities that have, many of them have been co-sponsored by BCAN as well as the Age-Friendly City Committee.
I think this organization can be said to have given birth to the age-friendly communities movement in the state of Massachusetts, which is now gathering tremendous strength.
So you may have recognized a couple of those people if you know the people in town. One was Ruth Ann Dobeck. She's the director of the Senior Center. Another one was Len Fishman, who spoke at last year's annual meeting on housing. And the third was Nancy Daly, the former former select woman, who is now a town meeting member. All of them spoke about Brookline Community Aging Network and its influence on the community of Brookline. What is the Brookline Community Aging Network? It's an all-membership organization, which means volunteers, people getting involved. And the Brookline Community Aging Network, known as Brookline CAN, works in town through 6 committees. The first one is the steering committee, and we will have today a guest who's a member of that steering committee. Another aspect of it is the education committee. The education committee is headed by Ruth Ann Dobeck. And recently, very recently, you'll have seen an evidence of their work in the 7 steps to managing memory. They have been doing programs over the last, 6 years, since Brookline CAN first was launched in 2011. Another one is the Livable Community Advocacy Committee. That's headed by Frank Caro. And that group advocates for changes in town and things that are needed that are age-friendly, all ages, but especially seniors. And one of the things that accomplished, I think, for people of all ages that was pretty exciting this year was the establishment of the pedestrian committee reporting to the transportation committee in town. So the pedestrian committee works with the bicycle committee, public transportation committee, and the overall transportation committee to ensure that pedestrians are represented whenever changes happen, whenever things happen in town. In addition, there's the Communications Committee, and they disseminate information to senior residents in town so that they can participate and become active as needed and as they desire. And finally, there's the Membership Committee, and the Membership Committee brings in all the members that volunteer. And we'll be talking about volunteers quite a bit today. And finally, there's an initiative that's going on, that's the Service Referral Initiative. And if you looked at the Communication Committee's website for Brookline CAN, you would notice that there are provided on there are contractors and service providers that people might want to use. And that turns out to be one of the most accessed portions of the website. Today, we're going to be discussing two events that are coming up in the next few weeks. One directly involving Brookline CAN, and that's the annual meeting this year. That's September 14th, and it's at the Senior Center. The other one is Brookline Day, which is September 24th, and that'll be at Lars Anderson Park. To talk about today's, the Brookline CAN annual meeting, we brought on someone that's been involved both with Brookline CAN, Community Council on Aging, and the libraries, and a number of other areas. Roberta Winitzer is the person, and she was the MC last year, and she's going to be the MC this year. Roberta is a 35-year resident of Brookline. She was on the council. She was on a library trustee for years. She ran the Brookline Reads program from 2003 to 2011. And Roberta has agreed to join us and describe a little bit of this year's meeting. It's pretty exciting because we've been looking forward to this for quite a while. This year's meeting is focused on one thing, the power of engagement, as is the other event, Brookline Day, also focused on community and the power of engagement. I want to say welcome, Roberta.
Hi, this is fun. This is really kind of nice. I think the most important thing I'd like to say right off is that my focus for the past 35 years has been community engagement. And when we voted on at a steering committee meeting about what we wanted to do, this year we wanted to do something different for the annual meeting. What could the focus be? And after some deliberation, we decided that what it was is the power of engagement. Well, I have to tell you, Matt, when I walked away from that meeting, I thought, wait a minute, is it too sophisticated? Will people know what we're talking about?
Right.
And so I think we made that decision last February.
Oh yeah, I think so.
And so since then, every time I was with a different group of people, I would say, so if I say the power of engagement, what does that mean to you? And I was surprised. People understood what was in our minds when we said that. It's collaboration, it's involvement, it's joining together, it's basically sharing. And what I like about that is that it reflects the relationship between the Council on Aging at the Senior Center and Brookline Community Aging Network.
Right.
We work together. It's a collaboration, it's support.
Yes, I've noticed that grow, by the way, over the years. I've noticed it sort of formed and was amorphous, and gradually more and more as structure took place and as the relationships to the Senior Center, the Council on Aging, to seniors in town, to the Brookline government, the town departments, as all of these things grew and connected and the connections began to take place, I noticed the change.
Yeah, and it's connected with the Age Friendly Cities project, on which we both sit. We're both
absolutely. The Age Friendly Cities is a little more official as part of the government itself.
What's the selectmen?
Right. A selectmen subcommittee.
Yeah.
But, and it runs this program. And by the way, as I hadn't mentioned before, you were the original producer of this program.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to thank you for that.
Oh, thank you for mentioning that. But all right, so I want to go back to the Age Friendly Cities project because what I think is important when we talk about it, we talk about why Brookline became the first Age Friendly Cities. It designated as the first Age Friendly Cities organization. Partly one of the reasons we, the selectmen, knew that we were going to be able to, in fact, participate in this project that was part of an outreach that the World Health Organization of United Nations has, is because we have a public transportation system.
Oh yeah.
And actually, when I think of public transportation and how important it is, remember Jerry Small and what he wanted to do about a stop on Boylston Street?
Right. That was amazing because Jerry Small brought up the fact that there was a missing stop on the 51 line. And we said, well, a missing stop, is that our job? But it was, because it was something that certainly seniors, certainly not only just seniors, people with some difficulty at reaching the bus stops, people who were with strollers that wanted to get to a stop and had no stop in the area. And sure enough, this year that took place.
Yeah,
that
so
was
how
one
long
of the
did it
longer
take?
lead times.
Yeah, with 2 years, 3 years?
4 years.
4 years. Oh,
4 years. But another one took much less time, the park.
oh yeah,
that's one of
John
the
and
best.
Green Street.
John and Green Street.
Yeah.
There was no park there. Everybody said, well, this is a place we want to sit. It's near the library, it's near the center of town, but it's a place you just want to relax.
And what was interesting about that is I live probably half a mile from Coolidge Corner, from where the Coolidge Corner Library is. And when Frank Caro, who is the co-chair of Brookline,
the LCAC meeting.
Said something about we should do something about the park at John and Green Street. And I, who walked by there hundreds of times, said, "What park? What park? What are you talking about?" And the bottom line is, you need to see it. People need to see what it is.
And the benches were donated?
The benches were donated. Do you remember the reason, the story?
It's amazing.
So there was a couple, an elderly couple who regularly walked by the park and sort of sat down and rested. There was probably one bench there. And in the past couple of years, they both passed. And their family thought, you know, when the town began to actually make this a park that, it's a pocket park,
Right.
and actually be something, the one missing thing was benches. And so this couple's family donated those benches. And Erin Galantine and her group landscaped it. It's incredibly charming, but it's a real place.
Yeah, it's marvelous. I used it the other day. It was really, really great. And I'm really, talk about the power of engagement. These are all different people just stepping up and stepping in. The work that was done, we're running a little short, so the work that was done on the streets, on the street lighting. We had people come from the public housing areas, seniors come, and work on the sidewalks and find areas that were problems for
Were we
people.
taking pictures? Weren't there
And
cameras?
they fixed all of those. We had pictures. They were in the Globe. They
Yeah.
were in the newspaper for the work that was done in Tab. And because they came out, and the same thing with street lighting. The same thing was done with street lighting. And the same things were done with pedestrian sounds and pedestrian intersections, and the concern
The
about
crosswalks,
pedestrians.
yeah.
The concern about separating bicycles from people, so that in the areas where they had to be a lot of pedestrians, they would walk. And those signs came up. All of the signs that said, walk your bike in these areas because they're crowded with pedestrians.
Yeah.
So, it's been exciting. It's really been exciting. But this year we have a meeting. We have an annual meeting. We have the guest speaker, which is Dr. Judith Gagne, and she's from BU. She's a professor and associate dean of the Social Work School of Social Work, and she will be there discussing the power of engagement for the individual and for the group. And it's going to be exciting. And we'll be there, and I'm looking forward to it very much. In addition, we have, as I recall, some music that was there.
Oh, yeah. So one of the things that we do when we put together the BCAN program, the annual program, is ask for a band from the high school to come and actually play.
They were great.
And last year they were so fabulous, and there was one young man who was so involved in what he was doing. He's a violinist.
Yes.
And I think we showed a picture of him at the beginning or
We
whatever.
did. Yeah, well, we have something there, and we'll put it up. But yes, he was interviewed, and
he excuse me, but he talked about how much fun he has and how he enjoys coming to the Senior Center, because what he realized and what he notices and talked about was that people were sort of singing along and moving and just sitting and listening to the music before the speaker came.
I think another thing that's really important is that there needs to be an effort to get the youth arts into the public eye, and this is a great way to practice outreach.
yes,
He was great.
the connection between the teenagers and the seniors. We actually had a show on that, And it's
Yeah.
really marvelous. And this is just another example of the same thing. So I think what we'll do next is we're going to bring on the person who's coordinating, and you'll appreciate this, coordinating the Brookline Day. And we, of
Yeah.
course, Brookline can and and the Senior Center have booths at Brookline Day.
Yeah, so I think that what I want to be sure and leave people with is this thought, that the Brookline Community Aging Network is actually an advocacy group because it's all volunteer. We talked about
Right.
the various things that we're doing. And the Council on Aging, which works very closely together and basically lives in the same house as BCAN, it's the Senior Center on
right.
Winchester Street. The Council on Aging is support in every way for the people in Brookline, people of a certain age. And we should remember always that the Senior Center is in effect a community center for the town of Brookline.
You're right. I mean, I really, I sense that, and I've suggested changing the name, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, we might
Nobody
do
will
it, yeah.
so
You know, we have that advocacy committee,
right.
you know, so
Yeah.
we might do that.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you, it's been fun.
It is. Welcome back. Our next event is an exciting event. It's for the whole town. It's Brookline Day. It takes place on September 24th in Lars Anderson Park. And in fact, we have a little video.
This September, we are proud to invite you to our 6th annual Brookline Day. Brookline Day is a large community event that involves many Brookline town agencies, businesses, partners, and is headed by the Brookline Recreation Department. This year is going to be our biggest and our best year yet. We are planning the best vendors, games, inflatables, trucks, food, face painters, bands, prizes, and special activities that we can find. This is also the 5th year of our Brookline Day 5K road race, which was a huge hit back in 2013. Brookline Day 2017 is guaranteed to be a great day of free family fun that everyone will enjoy. So come on out on September 24th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Lars Anderson Park.
To describe Brookline Day, we brought the key person involved in the day itself, the coordinator. Sarah Nelson is our next guest, and Sarah coordinated the last, this is the 4th, I believe. She'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is her 4th Brookline Day. Sarah is someone who's been involved in events for quite a while. She works with the other town departments on their events, and she works with events that are involved with recreation, which is the department that she is in. She's also responsible for the health and wellness program and the 55 plus program. Sarah is a member of the Massachusetts Recreation and Park Association, of the National Recreation and Park Association, and I think her love, or at least her interest for about 15 years, was the fitness industry. I want to welcome Sarah, and I want to hear about Brookline Day. I'm really looking forward to that. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you, Matt. I'm really excited to be here and to tell you all about our event this year. And you're right, this is my 4th year planning the event, and it's the 6th year that we've put on Brookline Day.
I heard that it's been increasing each year. How many people were here last year? Any idea?
We estimated between 5,000 and 7,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's.
Well, you must do better this year.
I know. That's our goal usually, you
I
know.
hope you count the children also.
Yeah, that's your job, to count every
Count
single
everybody?
person.
Oh, okay, I'll do that.
No, it is. It gets bigger and bigger every year, and we also try to add a new element or a new, something different or new to the event. And so we have a couple surprises up our sleeve this year, and
Can we tell us?
we hope that.
Can we announce them now or no?
Not
It's a
yet.
surprise.
Yeah, it's a surprise, but I want to make sure everything goes through. But we think it'll be a great year.
Oh, great. I'm looking forward to it, actually. I man a booth usually, but we take turns so that we can walk all over the place and see everything. Now, what really, I mean, to me, this is community. I mean, it's not the community with quotes, capitals, whatever. This is involving Brookline. When I went there, I met people I never knew before. They told me their roles. They told me things they did in town. They asked questions about what I was doing. It was pretty exciting. What do you see it as? I mean,
I see it as a day to celebrate Brookline. Brookline is a great place to live, to work, to play. It's a great community, and it takes a village to pull this day off. It really does.
Yeah, I believe it.
We work with several other town departments to make it happen. Parks and open spaces, DPW, highway department, IT, buildings, the police department has a huge presence, the fire department, the school department. I mean, everyone before, leading up to it, and the day of.
Great.
We have about 100 vendors, local businesses. And so when you talk about the power of engagement, that's what we're doing on that day.
Oh, that's fine. Are they all Brookline people? Or
Mostly, yeah, mostly Brookline.
But you don't have to be a Brookline resident to come. I mean,
No, everybody is welcome.
right. Well, and the weather's going to be perfect.
I already put a request in,
Excellent.
so hopefully that gets approved.
Yeah.
That is the big question
Right.
leading up to the day. It's rain or shine, so we're there, regardless.
Well, we could be there in the rain. It's not so
Right.
terrible.
Right.
It's actually a really nice site. I mean, I'm sure people in town know it, but it's great. Is there, when I drove there last time, and I actually found parking, but it's not easy. What's the methods of getting there?
So we do have satellite parking lots. We use the Park School, we use Beaver Country Day, Baker School, and Dexter Southfield. And we have shuttles going back and forth from those parking lots to Lars Anderson. And then we also have our bus routes. I think there's about 8 stops in town. 6 different buses. I'm just counting 6 different buses doing the bus routes. So yeah, parking is limited. Definitely catch the bus or park at one of the additional sites and get the shuttle.
And it's not very expensive to enter, right?
It's free. It's
I
free.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you buy food. I remember the food trucks. That I do
Yes,
remember.
we have a bunch
They were
of food
great.
trucks. You will need to bring money for food.
Right.
We have inflatables. There's 10 or 11 different inflatables. We have touch a truck. We have bands, the vendors, photo booth, face painters, balloon artists,
Music?
yes, everything. And we start the day off with our road race in the morning.
Yes.
So I don't want to forget about the road race.
No, it's
Very
just,
important piece.
That's really, that's exciting. Tell us something about the road race, because I'm not sure if we have any picture of it. Well, we may.
I think we do have some pictures. We have a kids 1K that starts at 8 a.m.
Okay.
And
When the kids, what's that age?
10 and under.
Okay.
Yep. Last year we had just under 200 kids
Oh,
running.
wow.
Oh, yeah, big. They're so cute. And so they do a 1K and turn around, run back. And then at 8:30, the 5K starts.
Right.
So that's 11 years and older. Last year we added a new division, the sidecar division, and that was strollers and dogs.
Oh, excellent.
So
Can it be wheelchairs or anything like that? Is that a possibility that someone with a
could,
wheelchair
yeah.
could do it? Yeah. Okay.
And so, so the 5K starts at 8:30, and then we have just a little bit of time before the event starts at 11.
Great. And do people walk during that, or do they have to run?
They don't have to run. We do get some walkers. However, the roads are closed. They do reopen about 9:30. Okay. So there is a little bit of a time limit just to get the roads open and get the vendors in for the event.
Okay, but that should work out, actually.
Yeah, the police they do
a
a great job.
Yeah, Well, how many town departments are involved? Are there? It's all of them, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, lots of town departments. We have the whole mini town. We do like a mini town hall row right next to our vendor rows, and so all the town departments have their tables set up there. We also last year was our first year. We had the Brookline Together initiative.
Oh yeah.
And this is another power of engagement element.
And how's that? What is the Brookline? Can you tell us about?
Yeah, that was developed by our former assistant director, and it was just to bring together the town departments and also to engage the community. And we had ambassadors. They had their own tent. We had ambassadors that had their own shirts on, and they had bingo cards. They engaged with as many residents as they could that day.
Yeah.
And then we tried to continue the initiative throughout the year, and so we're bringing it back.
There's a tremendous feeling of confidence people get when they come there if they see their town there and all of the facilities, all of the various departments and people representing them, and they're all people, right? And remember, this is a volunteer government. This is a town, not a city. So it's a volunteer government. It's a volunteer everything. The only thing is the departments that work for the town, and those serve the town. So it's I think it's something really important to get people to relate and to meet each other and to relate to the actual government and the department itself. So to me, it's very exciting. I mean, I'm looking forward to it very much. As far as the Lars Anderson itself, how much area? I'm just going over what I saw last year. So stop me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
But there was a really large area. Then there was an open space. Are you going to fill that up this year? Is that?
Yeah, we pretty much occupy both of the athletic fields, the ball fields.
Right.
And then the space under the shelter are where all the entertainment vendors are, so the face painters and balloon artists.
Right.
And we're hoping to expand onto the hill this year. That's one of the surprises.
Oh, is that right?
So yeah, we really take over that entire lower, from the Goddard Ave lot and across the field and even into the shelter area. So we're running out of space.
Well, we are going to have the Brookline Community Aging Network and the Senior Center are going to have a booth.
Great.
Right? And we did that last year. We actually had a petition signed last year. People were running over to sign petitions. I saw other places had various events and things they were doing each of the booths.
Yep.
So I think the people, so what I'm saying is the people even in the booths, as far as they're concerned, it's an opportunity to see other people in town and to see other organizations.
Definitely.
So I would, is there a list of who the booths are? Can we get information from the website, or is
The website has all the sponsors, and all the way from Premier all the way down to Benefactor.
Okay.
And then, and then that day we'll have a huge vendor map of who's there, because that is the big question.
That's the
People,
question.
they're looking for, their organization. So yeah, we'll try to have that available.
and you give out the kids. I see you have a picture of a kid.
Yes,
and,
this is our event.
And the children really, from what I saw, they walk around. They have a bag.
Yes.
Right, they all have bags to collect things that are given out at the various booths, and they run from booth to booth, and then they start comparing them, and then they start talking about what they just
Yes,
saw. It's pretty exciting.
The giveaways are huge. A lot of the vendors bring giveaways, and then our giveaway is a bag usually, and it will be again this year.
Okay.
And the bag has Brookline Day and all the sponsors listed on the other side, and so we just thought that was made
Well, it
sense
worked.
because then everyone can go around and get their stuff and fill up their bag.
I will tell you, it works because the idea. I don't know whether they have contests, how many different places they can visit.
They must.
But they must have things going. But it's really, it was really fun to watch them go.
It's a great day.
Yeah,
It really is.
I
It's
enjoyed
a lot
it.
of fun.
Okay, so I would like everybody to realize that when they come to the Brookline Community Aging Network annual meeting on the 14th, that all of those people are the people that also go into town, that are also involved in activities in the town, and to look at this as what are their opportunities? Because when you come into the annual meeting, you walk in and you say, well, what can I do? And they give you a list of few things to do. When you go to Brookline Day, you see so many things to do. I saw people that came over and said, what can I do? Oh, what is this Brookline Can? What can I do to join it? I saw people, I walked over to other booths and got explanations for what they were doing and why, what companies, various local sponsors. And I learned more about Brookline in that one day, I think, than I did since I've been here, which is like 15 years.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I'll be at the meeting. I'll be at the vendor expo.
Great.
So I will be. I'll be at my table with my Brookline Day
Yep. Well, you're
marketing, and we'll make sure that everyone gets there.
excellent. So I want to thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I will thank Roberta again, although she's not here, but I will thank Roberta. And I want to remind everybody that the show will be rebroadcast several times on Big, and also is available on the website for Brookline Community Aging Network. It's also available, you will see it on Twitter, on Facebook, and in the information about it in the newsletter. Thank you very much.